What is going on, guys? Craig 1287 here, bringing you some more Battlefield 4 gameplay. Going on there in the background is going to be some footage of a round in which I was using the anti-air. Now, I am just by myself for this round. I was not with any of the TG guys. This is probably just a late night. Kinda was bored, hopped on solo, didn't really bother getting into TeamSpeak type of thing. And when I do that, I really like to get in the anti-air and just see if I can completely and utterly lock down the opposing team by myself. Now, my team is not completely, you know, they're not complete noobs, and they do nothing. I don't even get the top score on my team. I get the most kills. I do end up going 15-0, but and this is not a rarity. I do this often, most of the time in the anti-air, and it makes me wonder a lot if the anti-air truly is overpowered. And I have mixed feelings on this, because when I am using it, I do really good. Typically, there are some games where I just have a bad day. You know, tanks constantly sneaking up behind me, shooting me in the butt, and you know, I get that instant disable, and he instantly falls. You know, he hits me again while I'm still disabled, and hits me again while I'm still, and then I get blown up, and that just happens a lot. Or I get C4'd a lot. There are some rounds where I do just get in the zone, and I'm, you know, shooting at jets that are over there. Typically, that's where this happens, and I get C4'd. I'm not in third person a lot, so I don't see what's going on around me, and I'm shooting at jets, so I'm looking straight up into the air rather than at helicopters that are slightly off in the distance, typically not flying right over me, and I just get C4'd a lot. So there are bad rounds, but more often than not, much more often than not, I do crazy good in anti-air, and I can just completely lock down the enemy team. And so this makes me think that, yeah, okay, it might be overpowered, but then I see other people using it, and sometimes they'll do good. They'll get a really crazy good KD. They'll go flawless, but that's typically, when that happens, is they actually don't get a lot of kills, because they're playing a little too cautious. They're staying a little too far back. And things like that. They don't play as aggressively as I am. They don't, you know, get right up towards the enemy. And I only do that because I know that I'm going to be able to take these guys out really quick. I know that I'll be able to take out the attack chopper really quick. Excuse me. Been eating some beef jerky and soda pop. Getting some burps going. But yeah, I know I can take out the anti-air. I know I can, you know, shoot these engineers way off in the distance. A lot of times, I've actually started to get really good at pulling off headshots with the anti-air at range. And you know, I like to consider myself a pretty good player. I used to compete back in the day when I didn't have jobs and wasn't working on my master's degree and stuff like this, and I could dedicate just hours and hours of gaming time. I used to compete in Counter-Strike. I even competed in Halo Combat Evolved on the Xbox, the original Xbox. I don't want to call it the Xbox One, but and I used to compete for Battlefield when in TG. I was in one of our competitive squads, and we would do ladders and things like that. You know, I used to be able to be an incredible player and go to tournaments that had monetary values and do really well at these. I really wish I recorded back then. I wish YouTube was around, but and so nowadays, you know, I'm still a very good player. If you look at my stats and things like that, I guess statistically, I'm still. You could look at the bf4stats.com thing and see that I'm in the top 8% or something like that. But that's just for score, which actually comes down to playtime, really. And I don't even use those boosts. I probably have not used a boost. Probably only used a boost maybe 10% of the time, 10-15% of the time I've played. I don't do a lot of big kill streaks because I don't do vehicles all that often, but in looking at some of the other stats, you know, alright, I've been talking about my stats and skills long enough. But I like to think that I am a fairly competent player still, even though I don't compete and practice all that often. So why is it that I can do so well? And I think it just is my playstyle with it. I can be a very good shot and follow targets and lead targets really well. I think a lot of it comes down to kind of empathy. You know, I can put myself in that person's shoes and I can think how they might move based on all the things that are going on when people are, you know, hiding behind a rock. I get really lucky. Maybe it is luck, but there's a lot of times where I can tell the guy just based on the situation, you know, is he going to pop out on the left side? Is he going to pop out on the right side? Is he going to just try to stick his head up over the thing? And I can just really plan that really well so that the second they pop out, they think that they can pop out, shoot real quick, and pop back in. And I can almost like pre-fire and start hitting them with the anti-air. And that's how I get a lot of my infantry kills. I can tell when people are going to try to do the bunny hop run. Just general things. I can put myself in their shoes and plan my shots accordingly. So that's part of it. And it's hard to explain, but I don't think... Moral of the story is, long story short, TLDR, I don't think it is OP. In the right hands, yeah, it can be OP, but that's how anything is. Jets, sniper rifles, noob tubes, RPGs. You know, if you find... There's a guy that did the... I saw he had a crazy amount of kills just with the airburst, and I think that thing sucks, kind of. It's not a good primary, but this guy, that was his main running thing, and he had a legit good KD and all sorts of other stats. So, in the right hands, yeah, the anti-air can be OP, but I see so many people all the time not doing that well with it. They're not as aggressive. Yeah, they get great KDs, they get good stats and whatnot, but they're not really helping out their team as much as I am when I'm playing as aggressively on the front line. So, what do you guys think? Am I just an idiot and I'm trying to defend something that I get a lot of kills with? Is it actually OP? How much luck do you guys have with it? What are your thoughts? Hope you guys have enjoyed the gameplay going on there in the background. And if you haven't messed with the AA enough, check it out. It's a fun thing to use. Hope you guys have enjoyed all of it. Have a good one. Ta-ta.